a vote that divided a nation and reshaped its future. Today, we peel back the layers of the United Kingdom's historic decision to leave the European Union. Imagine, if you will, a bustling, modern nation at the crossroads of history. Picture a decision that would reverberate across the globe, a choice that would have implications far beyond its borders. This is the story of Brexit, a tale of political maneuvering, public sentiment, and ultimately, a nation's decision. Brexit, a term coined as a shorthand way of saying the United Kingdom leaving the European Union, is a complex issue that has been the center of controversy and debate. It's a word that has dominated headlines and conversation, stirring emotions on both sides of the divide. But what exactly is Brexit, and why is it so significant? At its core, Brexit is about sovereignty and identity. It's about a nation deciding who they are, what they stand for, and how they want to shape their future. It's about the United Kingdom asserting its independence, reclaiming control over its laws, borders, and economy. But it's also about the challenges and consequences that come with such a monumental decision. Through the lens of Brexit, we see the intricate web of international relations, the delicate balance of power, and the profound impact of political decisions on everyday lives. We see a nation grappling with its place in the world, wrestling with questions of nationalism and globalization. This journey into Brexit is more than just a study of politics and economics. It's a glimpse into the soul of a nation, a window into the hearts and minds of its people. It's a story of courage and conviction, of uncertainty and change. But beyond the facts and figures, beyond the debates and discussions, lies a deeper truth. Brexit isn't just about a single decision or a single moment in time. It's about the ongoing, ever-evolving process of nation-building, about the triumphs and trials of democracy. So buckle up and prepare for a deep dive into the world of Brexit. We'll explore the reasons behind the vote, the key players involved, the aftermath of the decision, and the future implications of this landmark event. Join us as we delve into the heart of this landmark decision. To understand Brexit, we must first understand why. Why did the UK vote to leave the EU? The reasons behind the Brexit vote are as diverse as they are numerous, a complex tapestry woven from economic, political, and social threads. On the economic front, some Britons felt disadvantaged by EU policies. They believed their economic sovereignty was eroded by regulations that favored larger economies and stifled the UK's ability to negotiate its own trade deals. Politically, there was a sense of lost sovereignty. Many UK citizens felt that decisions affecting their lives were increasingly made in Brussels rather than in London. They yearned for a return to self-determination, to reclaim control over their own laws and borders. Another critical element was the question of immigration. As part of the EU, the UK was bound by the principle of free movement, which allows citizens from any EU country to live and work in any other member state. Some British citizens felt this led to an unsustainable influx of immigrants, putting pressure on public services and changing the cultural fabric of their local communities. Lastly, we cannot overlook the power of national sentiment. The campaign to leave the EU tapped into a deep-seated sense of British identity, invoking images of a proud, independent nation that had once ruled over a vast empire. The idea of taking back control resonated with many, stoking a sense of national pride and longing for a perceived golden age. The vote was not merely a political or economic decision. It was a choice deeply rooted in the collective psyche of the UK, influenced by a myriad of factors that intertwined to create a potent brew of dissatisfaction with the status quo. It was a choice that reflected the hopes, fears, and frustrations of a nation grappling with its place in a rapidly changing world. A complex mix of factors led to a simple yet monumental choice: to stay or to leave. Every story has its characters, and Brexit is no different. Who were the key players in this historic vote? Let's start with the man who announced the referendum, the then Prime Minister, David Cameron. A member of the Conservative Party, Cameron promised a referendum on EU membership in his election manifesto to appease Eurosceptic elements within his own party. Little did he know, this promise would trigger one of the most consequential events in British history. Next up is Nigel Farage, the firebrand leader of the UK Independence Party, or UKIP. A longtime Eurosceptic, Farage was instrumental in stoking anti-EU sentiments among the British public. His party may not have had many seats in Parliament, but his influence on the Brexit vote was undeniable. Then we have Boris Johnson, another Conservative Party member. Initially a reluctant Brexiteer, Johnson eventually became one of the most vocal proponents of the Leave campaign. His charismatic personality and populist rhetoric played a significant role in swaying public opinion towards Brexit. On the other side of the debate, we have the Remain campaign. Key figures included the likes of then Home Secretary Theresa May and Labour Party leader Jeremy Corbyn. Despite their efforts, they were unable to convince a majority of voters to stay in the EU. Several organizations also played a crucial role in the Brexit saga. The European Union itself, of course, was a key player, along with various British and European news outlets that shaped public opinion through their coverage. And let's not forget the British public. Ultimately, it was the people of the United Kingdom who had the final say in this historic decision. Whether they voted Leave or Remain, their voices were heard loud and clear on that fateful day in June 2016. In the world of politics, the stage is vast, and the actors are many. Each one of these key players had a part to play in the Brexit narrative, and their actions and decisions shaped the course of history. These individuals and groups played pivotal roles in shaping the Brexit narrative. The vote was cast, the decision made. But what happened next? What has been the immediate aftermath of Brexit? As the dust settled, it was clear that the Brexit vote had far-reaching consequences. Not just for the United Kingdom, but for the European Union too. The decision to leave the EU sent shockwaves across the world. It was a time of uncertainty and change. The immediate political fallout was immense. The Prime Minister resigned, and the government was thrown into turmoil as politicians scrambled to form a new leadership. The Labour Party faced its own internal struggles, while the Scottish National Party called for a second independence referendum. The political landscape was in upheaval, reflecting the discord that had been sown by the vote. The economic impact was equally significant. The pound plummeted to its lowest level in 3 decades, rattling global markets and leading to predictions of a recession. Yet, despite the initial shock, the UK economy showed resilience. It did not collapse as some had feared, but the road to recovery was steep and filled with challenges. But perhaps the most profound impact was felt by the public. The Brexit vote exposed deep divisions within the UK. It was a country split along lines of age, education, and geography. Many celebrated the decision as a reclaiming of sovereignty, while others mourned the loss of European identity. Protests erupted both for and against Brexit, and the public discourse was filled with passion, anger, and at times despair. In the European Union, the departure of one of its largest and most influential members was a significant blow. It sparked debates about the future of the Union and led to introspection about its purpose and direction. Yet despite the challenges, the EU remained committed to its ideals of unity and cooperation. The immediate aftermath of Brexit was a time of uncertainty and change for both the UK and the EU. The effects of the vote continue to unfold. The full extent of its impact may not be known for years, or even decades. But one thing is certain: the decision to leave the European Union has forever altered the course of history for the United Kingdom and Europe. The Brexit vote has set the UK on a new path. But what does the future hold? What are the long-term implications of Brexit? Brexit is a journey into the unknown, a voyage that has the potential to redefine the UK's place in the world. It's a decision that carries weighty implications for the nation's economy, political landscape, and the everyday lives of its people. Economically, the UK now has the freedom to forge its own trade agreements. This could open doors to new markets and opportunities, but also brings uncertainties. Will it be able to negotiate favorable terms? Will its departure from the single market and customs union lead to increased costs and trade barriers? The answers to these questions may have profound impacts on businesses, jobs, and the cost of living. Politically, Brexit has already reshaped the UK. It has strained the union with Scotland, which voted overwhelmingly to remain in the EU, and reignited debates about Scottish independence. It has also complicated the delicate balance of peace in Northern Ireland, highlighting the deep-seated divisions that still exist. In terms of everyday life, Brexit could affect everything from travel and healthcare to food prices and consumer rights. Britons may find it more difficult to work, study, or retire in EU countries. EU nationals living in the UK too face an uncertain future. But Brexit's implications extend beyond the UK's borders. It has prompted soul-searching within the EU about its own future and the need for reform. It could also influence global politics, altering the balance of power and alliances in an increasingly interconnected world. The full impact of Brexit will only become clear over time. It's a complex, multifaceted process with many variables at play. But one thing is certain: Brexit marks a significant shift in the UK's trajectory, a decision that will shape its destiny for generations to come. Only time will tell how the Brexit vote will shape the UK, the EU, and the world. Share your thoughts in the comments below.